summer for Arsenal. In the next videos, in the next days, we will talk also about Paris Saint-Germain. Congratulations to Paris Saint-Germain, because they will also be busy in the market. Obviously not that busy. They will just try to put some touches to their fantastic squad, but PSG will also do something. But for Arsenal, it's going to be an important summer. Obviously, it remains a fantastic season, winning the Premier League after 22 years, Champions League finalist till the final penalty. So Arsenal are still very satisfied with what they did. But in the summer, they're going to be busy. I think there could be 3-4 signings for Arsenal, also based on exits, but there will be movement up front. I already told you, winger is an absolute priority for Arsenal. A striker is a possibility. In midfield and at right back, Arsenal have been searching for players since January already. Then in January, they didn't find the right opportunity, and so they didn't want to waste their money. But I think Arsenal will be very busy this summer, will invest imported money, will try to complete their squad in the best way possible. They see an opportunity in several clubs making changes in Premier League. Liverpool will have a new manager, Manchester City will have a new manager, Chelsea will have a new manager, Arsenal will stay consistent with Mikel Arteta, so they believe it's the opportunity to put the right players in, to include some new faces, and then try to open a winning era under Mikel Arteta.
You sometimes just have to feel it and it will make you better. Dave Ornstein has joined us as well. Dave, you've been at the heart of the transfer news for Arsenal for as long as I can remember now, especially. Obviously, this is going to hurt them a lot, but let's try and put it into perspective for the club, because Mikel Arteta promised he would bring something to this team. He has reshaped everything. He has brought them their first Premier League in 22 years, and he's brought them to a Champions League final for the first time in 20 years. That is an incredible achievement, and I imagine Arsenal, the hierarchy, couldn't ask for much more.
Absolutely, and they backed him in the not-so-good times. They're absolutely behind him now. So I'd expect him to get a pretty handsome new contract this summer, probably before next season starts. And I'd also expect them to back him in the transfer market again. We saw Andrea Berta just by the dugout. He looked devastated. He's their sporting director, and he'll be so determined to go again in the transfer market to really improve the quality in that squad. And their finances are in fantastic shape. So I would say this is a season of success, of progress, nearly even greater history. And they're really in good shape under Mikel Arteta to go on.
Tell us, obviously winning the Premier League makes a huge difference, but tell us about those finances and what they've done this season that's been so different.
Well, they're on track to break Premier League records for revenue. It could go up to about £770 million, which has never been done. They're going to cross the £300 million mark for television money, which has never been done. So this is fantastic. The revenues are going through the roof at Arsenal. It's a period of milk and honey, if you like. That wasn't always the case. They were a team who was struggling post Emirates Stadium move. They posted profits, but that was because they were selling a lot of their best players. They weren't competing. They went, I think it was something like 15 or more years of making profits. In the last 7 years, and it will probably be 8 now, they're going to post a loss. But that's because the Cronkies, KSE, the ownership, have backed Mikel Arteta in the market. They've invested very heavily. They've even put their own money in, which everybody was asking for. They wanted success now, and it's come. It's been vindicated. They comply with all the rules. They look like they'll continue to do so. I do think they might have to sell some players in the near future. They don't have to break even or anything like that in 2026, but I think to keep things balanced, to keep compliant, is probably quite wise, and they might not have this success again, so it's probably necessary.
It is a strong position.
That's right.
Going to the Emirates was just, the promised land. Huge bills, £22 million a year they were having to cover when they just serviced that loan. The manager signs a lengthy contract, and now they own the club on their own, the Gronkies, so they can push and they can put the monies in. The revenue is astronomical. Arsenal fans have been coming out of the closet all over the world. Africa, you want to see the clamour for it. It's enormous, and I think that came from the brand of Arsene Wenger. In some way they lost winning things, but they're on their way to doing that again.
You mentioned Mikel Arteta's contract a minute ago. He's got 1 year left on the current one. Surely after everything is achieved, he can walk into that office and say, here's my number, you pay it to keep me, and sign him to a long contract.
Yeah, he's already on very lucrative terms. He earns around £15 million a year gross. and he'll want to rise on that. Pep Guardiola's gone now, so you could see Mikel Arteta perhaps as one of the, or if not the best paid player in the coach in the Premier League. And you might say deservedly so. The boys are right. They spent £267 million in the market last summer. They recouped very little. And I could see, because they know the need to improve at that top end, they're behind statistically, and you can see it with your eyes, the likes of PSG and Bayern Munich and so on. The number 9 position is interesting. A penny for the thoughts of Victor Gyökeres tonight, of course. His first season, and he helped them to this final and then was put on the bench. And then the left-sided attack is a big priority for them, and they've been looking at it for a few years, and I think this may be the summer where they really do go for something. They've got the options there. They want a 6-8 midfielder. They want to strengthen at right back as well. So when you tally up the amount they've got to do, you could see that outlay in the market from last summer repeated or even exceeded. And as Stevie says, make hay when the sun shines. The money is big now, and so it's almost like investing when you're on the top.
Yeah.
Arsenal squad looks, they've got 2 players every position, and they'll probably recruit again in the summer. So, and they've recruited well. They've signed good players, haven't they? They're, you know, when you look back on it, okay, Declan Rice was a lot of money at the time, but what a bargain he's turned out to be. So when they've bought players in, they've bought quality. They haven't gone for middle of the road. They've gone for, if they make a signing, it's going to be a signing that probably they're looking to improve their team. And that's where they've recruited well. And I think Arsenal will be the team to beat again next year.
There is that feeling, though, that because they've got the Premier League over the line after 22 years, maybe it can take the shackles off with quality signings in the summer, right?
Yes, and I think that was the idea in the summer in terms of bringing Gyökeres in. It hasn't quite worked out for them, but I do look at the centre-forward position, I look at the left-wing position, and I think they need big upgrades, really, if they're going to win a Champions League. And without them, they come really close. I mean, your penalties away. But when you look at the run they had to the Champions League final, it was a very favourable run. So I think when they come up against the best teams in Europe, and you look at the attacking players they've got, I think they're always going to be at a disadvantage. So that is definitely where they need to improve in the summer.